but just keeping it cool, calm as a potato. That's not it. But anyways, all right. So been thinking about working on this program. It's going to be a group coaching, and so it's an 8-week program, but there will be a 6-month component where it's just like one-on-one. And so it's called the Body Rebirth Phoenix Rising. With this one, possibly it's going to be the sacred shift, but it's really for women who are experiencing burnout, emotional weight, also with the physical weight. So they're looking to lose weight, but they don't actually know that it can just be emotional. So a lot of women hold like things in their gut, right? So like our stomach is always the first thing, right? You know, and that could be fibroids, it could be your colon needs to be cleansed. There's so many different aspects. So I want to be able to do the physical stuff with them, do the detoxing, right? The dieting, some movement, and also like let's tap into our emotions because anger goes with the gut, grief, right? You know, keeping so much tension in your shoulders, people don't understand all the stress, and that's where the nervous system regulation tools are going to come with this program, giving them the practicality part too.
That's fine.
So it's, but what I love too is that it's also going to be the sacred circle for women to reclaim their health. So like that Phoenix rising is ashes to alignment. So you're coming out of this rebirth. Like maybe you've been down so much, maybe you had the anxiety and depression, and it's kind of like, well, who is this next phase of my life? Who is that woman going to look like? And these are things I've been experiencing, from like having my car accident to all the trauma that I've experienced, all the grief that I have in my body, and being that strong friend and not letting people in, right? Like, you know, now, you know, I'm sharing with people what's going on with me and being more vulnerable and like telling you like, no, sis, this week was shit, you know, like, and being quite upfront with that, you know, whereas before, you know, if you were to ask me, I'd be like, no, I'm okay. Like I'm moving through the car accident and, you know, it's all right. But actually really saying what's going on is a new thing for me to allow to receive that love, right? And so this program is what this is embodying too. It's breaking the emotional eating patterns, but also the physical things, the energy crashes, and reconnecting to your joy and pleasure. Because when you're experiencing burnout, you lose your hobbies, you lose the creativity, you lose your passion, your business. I've also lost my passion in my business. I mean, you know, for months I was like, I'm not doing that. Like, forget that. What is it doing for me, right? And it's like, no, because I keep coming back to it, and there's a reason why. But like when you're in the mud, it's so hard. You don't want to do anything. So it's really this component that's a holistic, and so we're also going to do rituals together, the somatic practices, but also some things like baths, because you can eat certain things, but we can also expel toxins through baths as well. So I want to do that and just create these sacred habits that women can keep for forever, in addition to the sisterhood, because we'll have a WhatsApp group and have weekly group coaching calls. So as much knowledge that I have, like, but you have experiences, and that's really what it is. Like, we're teaching each other our experiences and we're holding space. So it's a sacred space for these women to be able to connect, feel seen, heard, loved on. And then we have the movement and the integration piece on top of that. So I'm really excited to just do this. And then we have, you know, each week will be a different coaching topic. It'll have some wins, but also affirmations and meditations too for the mindfulness piece.
Dope.
You know,
that's important.
Yeah. And then, you know, I always come with the vibe, so there's gonna be some music.
Yeah,
you know,
we love a playlist.
Hello. But it's gonna be fire because it's gonna be based off of this program. It's not just like a Spotify playlist. It's actually gonna be like curated songs that kind of like DJ Niche just mix and scratch, you know. So it's really near and dear to me because this program is me in my life. So even some book recommendations, you know, just adding that, and the nutrition piece, of course, is going to be there. So I'm excited, especially for the rest and receive portion. Like that's actually a week in the course for women to learn how to rest and receive.
That's important. that does not get taught.
No, right? It sure
that actually end up getting taught out of burnout because you're like, I can't do anything but rest and receive, and then you feel guilty about it. So to be able to go into it being like, no, this is a birthright. Essentially, this is what you're supposed to do. It's what we were like literally made to do is rest and to receive. So to be able to do it, to know that you're expected to do it, and then not feel guilty about it.
That part, I feel guilty about it. Listen. So rest is sacred. So that's pretty much the whole thing. And then through that, you will feel more confident. Your energy will increase. You won't have the colon issues. You'll lose your weight. But that self-love aspect and the joy and the emotional freedom, I feel, is really the biggest wins, and having your nervous system regulated. You know, not worrying about the stress and your anxiety as much. and yeah, just walking away with a new set of women that you can now call on for accountability, like going forward too. So yeah, I'm excited for the rebirth and rise of these women to just activate that phoenix rising. And there's gonna be, you know, we can't go into all of them, but there's definitely some ceremonies that will be taking place and to just activate like who's the new baddie that I'm about to be, you know?
Who's coming up out of
who's coming up? Yeah, who's coming up out of this fire? It's like, all right, bet. So
yes,
yeah,
that's so dope. I know this is like a new, basically, like just as much as you're helping women to rebirth, I feel like this is a rebirth of like your brand and you know wellness and stuff. Like, how would you say this came about? Like, how did like,
I mean, downloads from the ancestors and God for sure first, and just my life experiences. So I've been going through it for the past 2 years between burnout, between a business. We're gonna call it pivoting because you know I've always said like failures and mistakes, but they've all led me to here. And so I've been the one who we were doing the retreats. I was trying to do that. I was trying to do the one-on-one coaching, like just trying to figure out what's gonna be best to help serve the collective. And now it's like, well, let me just use all my gifts.
Yeah.
But I've had to get stomped on my neck, you know, and be like, man, this is not working, or man, I didn't make money in my business this time, you know, how I thought. And so that weighs on me. And I'm like, I'm doing this solo. This is all I do is my business. It's like, why can't I make this work? Why can't I be profitable and serve? You know, and it was really tearing me up, and that led to my burnout. And I was like, I'm over it. And so let me take a pause. And this is 2024. I went back to New York, which is where I'm from. And just taking the time to like be around family, be around friends, and know it. Like I know the tools, right? Like I discuss burnout, but when you're going through it too, you're like, okay, I gotta pause, I gotta stop, and not go so hard, because that's all I did. If you ever been perfectionism or type A, you're all in. It was like, nah, I don't really have time to chill and hang out with people as much. I gotta make this work because I don't want a job. I'm not going back to corporate America. You know, I'm a former social worker. I've been in the school mental health consulting agencies. I worked in foster care. I've had high intense jobs, and that was my first time with burnout. We on later parts of burnout. You know, entrepreneurship burnout is no joke.
Totally different.
And no one prepares you for it. And I just jumped into it too. I left New York, moved to Georgia, and I just had this whole spiritual awakening. And you know, we fast forward from 2022 to now, and it was the entrepreneurship part that I thought would be easier. And I didn't know that the entrepreneurship part also led to my self-discovery and my spiritual journey. So all these things like meditation, affirmations, that happened when I really became more of a business owner. It's like, what can I do to love back on myself? How can I reclaim my health and fall back in love with me? And I wasn't having, thankfully, the health issues because of how I eat. But oddly enough, like I started having a lot of pain in 2024 in my body, to the point I could barely walk.
Wow.
And that was because of the emotional pain. My hip, women carry so much pain in their hips, my shoulder, my back. We talk about the chakras, which I do discuss some, and it's like your root chakra is that stability. I didn't have it. And there's fear that's inside of that too. And I'm like, wow, I'm not myself. And so that's how this is all coming about. It's literally all the pain and the traumas and crying in my altar, you know, weeping, like I don't know what to do, and I need the vision, I need the help, and I don't understand why it's like this, right? Like I have a good idea, I have a good heart, and it's still not coming through. And I'm like, you guys are just putting me forth. And my acupuncturist, she actually told me, she's like, I know you don't want to hear it, but like you're going through this to be able to help other women. And I was like, nah, I just want to heal myself. Like, you know, like that's not the part.
That's the part.
Get somebody else. Get somebody else.
Because we all know that it's like, it's kind of like when you have that person and you're like telling them what you're going through, and they're like, no, and they're giving you all these things, but it's not, unless I feel more comfortable talking to the person that's been through the fire to know, and I've seen you get out the fire and be on the other side, that I'm like, oh, okay, wait, I could trust you, versus like, oh, you always been sunshine and rainbows, and you know you gonna tell me how to live my life, and I'm burning up. So no, you gotta be the example. And there I don't remember the name of the book, but it was talking about Harriet Tubman, how she was like leading the slaves to freedom. But when she first got that download in the book, I don't know if this is true, right? They were like, she said, nah, get somebody else. Like, because the responsibility that comes with that, and women's emotions, it is a lot. And I was like, I don't know if I want to do all of this.
and people kept telling me like, you know, you have this gift, like you can hold the space. Like, I don't know. And this year I was like, I feel like I'm being forced to. You know, just my experiences when I'm talking about people, like you're onto something. Like I want to be a part of this, or I want to be a part of my class, or like just tell me more. And so you're mixing my mindfulness, my spirituality, my life experiences, plus my knowledge with the herbalism, and it's like this is all one big package that I can now provide to women to love on them. And there's still, it's just like I'm learning more and more. Like I'm just at a different place that other people are, right? Like we're just at different places on the race. And so there's still something that you may say that I'll still be like, oh yeah, like, you know, I remember what that feels like, and I still might get a different perception and learn something from that too. So it's great to me too to be building this sisterhood as well of like women that I get to help, but also like love on and be loved on too. And that's that receive. It's that give and receive instead of just like creating this content and give. Like no, I can get poured into as well too. And I don't think as like teachers or coaches we think about that aspect, but we do learn as well. And so it's more even about less even saying like I'm a coach, like I'm the CEO and like this is my business, this is my enterprise, and this is what I'm creating for every single woman to be out there, to be seen. Like, and it's the funny thing is like men may come on too, because I've had one who was like, I'm really into spirituality. And I was like, okay, not that he can't be, but it was just the fact that he was like, but I want you to teach me certain things. I was like, this is different. This might be one where it's non-binary, whoever want to come through, come on in. If that's what, you know, they have for me, then I'm willing to follow the train, man.
No, that's dope. I love that it's like a very much like holistic approach, because when you're thinking of like weight loss or burnout or anything, we often just think of the physical portion of it, or we only think about the mental portion of it, or we only think of the spiritual, but reminding ourselves that as humans we are a holistic being, and that if one is off, they're all off, because you can't have one without the other. And then, you know, the community part, you know, I love all things community. So the fact that you have people to talk about it in real time, because whenever you're trying to make a change or a transformation in your life, you're going to be met with disruption. You're going to be met with something that's going to say, hey, no, there's an easier, more convenient route to go. Let's do that. And so being able to have people to call on and say like, yeah, today was hard. Like, you know, you said to do that, the activity, I was over it. Like I was, you know, so be able to have that real authentic transparency, and then for you to come in and be like, yeah, that was me. I know exactly what you meant. And that's why I have this tool and this resource, and you can utilize this and have that check-in part, because I think a lot of times, especially people who end up being, you know, started in corporate or any 9-to-5 and end up being entrepreneurs, there's a certain type of person that is an entrepreneur. Everybody is not set up to be that. And I know this is not specifically only for, but especially as someone who's an entrepreneur, when you are that go-getter, like you said, the rest can be hard, the receiving can be hard, all of that. So to talk to other people and be able to say that in real time, like things that might be easier for others, it's hard for me to show up like this. It's hard for me to do this. So I think I'm really excited for all the women who are going to be like a part of this and be able to experience this, especially because it's just holistic and community. And I think it's really important, because I think the way that we as women think of weight loss or think of burnout, it's often it's to please someone else. It's like, oh, I can't be burnt out because I have to give to someone else, or I have to lose this weight because I got to appeal to somebody else. And to spin it and really have the focus be on like, what do you need in this season, I think is very important. So I'm excited for what you have in store.
So we go. Oh, that was good, girl. We got a whole podcast.
There you go.
Okay. I was gonna say I see low battery, but it still continued. Hold up though.
Did it?